Oh shit, you're not gonna like this one, Flurfers. Well, to be fair, you guys probably despise me regardless for poking holes in your beliefs, releasing the smelly hot farts that are your claims. I am however sorry for your scientific problems. I really am. But they are your problems. I don't blame people for their mistakes, but I do ask that they pay for them. So, what am I bringing out in the field today, you ask? Well, let me tell you. From interacting with you lot for quite some time now, I have gained quite some insight, and I'm finally beginning to see what's really going on here. How most of you are being misled and taken advantage of. I mean, seriously, it's beyond obvious the well-known Flurfers are clearly snake oil salesmen, or in internet slang, bloody pose. One could even go as far as saying it's a conspiracy within a conspiracy, which is actually not a conspiracy, but merely the old-fashioned milking of the cash cow. Did anyone hear that? Must have been the wind. Anyway, I am kind of curious how many tinfoil hats would be required in this case. It's a valid question, right? I submit to you, the Flat Earth religion. So, without further ado... Wait, what the fuck is this? Oh, that's so cool. A tablet to inscribe the commandments? Well, holy hell. Right, we're gonna do this with some good old supernatural thunderclaps and shit. So let's see. The 6... Wait, let's do this right.
So here we go. The 6 fundamental tenets of Flat Earth.
Well, that sounds about right. Right? Aha!
Inundate blasphemers thy creed, evading all contradictions.
Well, not sure if I can get used to that weird shit. However, we have stumbled across problem number 1. Anyone having provided valid evidence as requested by Flurfers will be forced to continuously pursue an ever-increasing pile of requests for more and more evidence. None of which will be acknowledged or accepted as some kind of strange, evasive defense mechanism. Now, doesn't that sound eerily similar to religious folk? They will never acknowledge demonstrable evidence that goes against their beliefs, or dare I say, faith. Instead, they will cherry-pick or quote things out of context, interpreting and manipulating it in such a way, making it look like it supports their narrative. Or demand other, usually impossible forms of evidence, like for example showing the curvature of the Earth inside a tiny body of water, unable to grasp the fact that we cannot scale down the effects of gravity. A display of dishonesty or ignorance at its finest, only compounded by the fact they will never admit they're guilty of this. They actually tend to think by merely saying, "that doesn't prove it," is enough to dismiss it, when in reality things do not work like that. As I said, anything in science is falsifiable. However, once it becomes a scientific theory, it's supported by mountains upon mountains of tangible evidence. If you want to claim it's false, you have to in fact falsify the bloody claim. Now, what was that called again? Oh, I know! Backing up your claims. Great timing there, Thunderstorm. The scientific method basically takes this concept and improves upon it by going a few steps further, where if a claim can be repeatedly demonstrated, it also has to be falsifiable, hold up to rigorous testing and scrutiny, and we should be able to use it to make accurate predictions. Furthermore, science doesn't deal in truths, ultimate or otherwise. It deals in the best explanation using our current knowledge, and the results of science actually expand that knowledge. And because everything in science is falsifiable, which might be in and of itself the most important thing, the entire process completely eliminates human ego and authorities. Science is unbiased, so to speak, which makes it the most useful, honest and effective way to find out how shit works in our universe.
Ye shall nay prove the creed, only assert our specific truth.
Huh. Well now. Problem number 2. When asking them for evidence, they will outright refuse to back up their unfounded claims and demand we explain the already verified evidence for the globe, which they will also instantly dismiss, of course, without actually falsifying the claims. We all know how religious folk refuse to provide proper evidence for their God, beyond unfalsifiable personal experience and, of course, circular Bible validations. Or just go ahead and presuppose that everyone already knows. Flurfers make claims all the time, but they will never admit it, because that would mean they have to demonstrate their claims, which they know they cannot. What kind of claims, you ask? Well, claims such as the horizon doesn't curve, the earth does not rotate, the earth is stationary, the stars and wandering stars are luminaries, there's a firmament above the earth, the sun and moon go around the earth, space is fake, God has created this universe, God has created this planet, gravity is just a theory, it's all just buoyancy, which just so happens to use gravity in this equation, but whatever. The moon is fake, satellites in the ISS don't exist, we never went to Mars, we never went to the moon, we don't have a rover on Mars, Voyager never went outside the solar system, we don't have pictures of the planet, the pictures are all CGI and fake. Everyone is paid by NASA, even way back in history. Actually the rover is on the moon, but actually it's not. Curiosity has never landed on Mars, meaning we don't have a remote control thingy on Mars. And of course conflating level and flat. Oh, but we don't make any claims. My ass you don't. And I could actually go on and on and on. I might even say this is just the tip of the bloody frigging iceberg. Well, this doesn't seem that safe. I mean, I'm standing right next to it. Oh well, at least my armor will protect me. Question mark? Well, here goes.
Let it be known, there is only evil in those not following the creed.
Problem number 3. They will always cry foul at any attempt to talk to them, claiming we're being mean, want to make them look foolish, and of course are only out to get them. Basically demonizing anyone going against their beliefs to justify dismissing anything you say or do. Bloody victim mentality. Grown-ass people not wanting their precious feelings hurt or seeing everything in pure black and white. There is absolutely no nuance whatsoever in their thought process, even when talking about their ideas. Guess what? Reality doesn't care about your feelings or opinions. Flurfers really seem to get off on playing the victim, exactly like religious folk, claiming everyone is out to get them, making fun of them, and of course milking that cash cow for every drop. And yes, those bloody cows are still banned from the castle? Jesus Christ! Right, what the hell's wrong with you lot? And who the hell let that bloody cow in the castle? So hard to find good help these days. If this keeps up, they're bound to launch everything but the kitchen sink at me. Huh. Whoa, well, that's, I didn't expect that. And no, I don't know why I have a cannon crew shooting things at me. Whose bright idea was this again? Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, if you even dare to engage in a civil discussion with flurfers, they will instantly label you as a shill or claim you're working for the evil government, living inside conspiracy theories, causing perhaps one of the purest forms of paranoia. Now, this paranoia can also be attributed to the religious, only they have Satan and evil heathens leading them astray, instead of government operatives. Although the religious flurfers have double trouble for that extra dose of paranoia.
Shall project all thy creed's faults onto any opposing shills.
Problem number 4. They will project their own behavior and dishonesty onto people disagreeing with them. It's always the same bloody thing with these people. Once you've debunked some precious creed of theirs, as the cool kids say, they will start to accuse you of lying, being ignorant, or evading the truth on purpose. In their eyes you are merely attacking their beliefs, because you have an agenda. So instead of accepting they are wrong, they will tell us that we're unable to see through the lies, because we've been brainwashed and of course indoctrinated from childhood. I guess the similarities with religion here is pretty damn obvious, right? Non-believers in their particular beliefs have been lied to or are being used by Satan, or the man in this case. We only think we have debunked things, even if it's demonstrable, but it's all because our minds have been corrupted by these evil entities. You know, all of this horseshit is just a sad display, to be quite honest. I actually feel sorry for them being so damn paranoid. I have this innate drive to want to help them, but they're so damn hostile to anyone even looking wrong at them. Maybe it's the sarcasm, but hey, that's just me being me. And in fact, the only thing we can do is present the evidence and try and explain to them how to interpret things properly. The rest is entirely up to them, meaning if they actually have the bloody courage or willingness to change. Something about a horse and water, you know.
Follow the creed to be in the know. Assert our truth as thy savior.
Problem number 5. Starting from a presupposed idea. Now, this probably has to do with some kind of addiction of belonging to a group that somehow has special knowledge of something that's been purposely hidden or suppressed by the man. They claim they know the earth is flat, claiming it as fact, even in the face of overwhelming evidence to the contrary, and actually going one step further by refusing the possibility of being wrong. They've started from an unfounded conclusion and worked their way back into reality, only to be met with pure skepticism. which they cannot handle and is dismissed almost as blasphemy. And there it is. The good old link to religion has been made once more. I guess the Dunning-Kruger effect could be applied here as well.
That which goes against the creed shall henceforth be denied.
Problem 6. They are not allowed to actually expand their knowledge with proper science, which goes against their belief. And of course, because of various conspiracies. Unfounded, I might add. Flurfers wholeheartedly believe they are open-minded to evidence when in fact they refuse to acknowledge any evidence going against their beliefs. This is further reinforced by the fact that most of them think research consists of showing us shaky, out-of-focus footage using consumer-grade cameras in auto mode. Or various completely unscientific experiments, if you can even call them experiments without any data recording or control in place. And of course watching a few of the bigger Flat Earther YouTubers out there. Anything these people say is in their mind the truth. They do not question it because it confirms their beliefs. One could actually conclude these kings of the Flurflands are their holy priests. I'm fairly certain these so-called kings are non-believers in the Flat Earth cause, instead taking full advantage of their flock, which seems quite familiar to something else I can't recall right now. What was that name again of a group of people who do this thing by exploiting the gullible, the sheep, the followers? The funny thing is they also have a social control system similar to religions, where the ones who actually do some proper research come to the conclusion that the Flat Earth is a load of hogwash. They are of course instantly outcast from the inner sanctuary of the Flat Earth, for actions which could be compared to blasphemy against the cause, kinda like eating from the tree of knowledge, or heck, reading the bloody Bible. To see what religion is really all about. A bunch of fluff based on the writings of very creative fiction writers. And I haven't even mentioned their superiority complex, where they will accuse anyone not in their special little club as liars or ignorant of their conspiracy truth, without any foundation to those claims, as usual. The unseen threat is a replacement for Satan in the form of the Man, or NASA, the Illuminati, the Freemasons, and I've heard people blaming space Jews. You've gotta be quite special to hear that shit and go, yeah, well now that I think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Sometimes even Satan himself gets the blame. The poor bastard, because he's running these organizations. Obviously. Furthermore, there's the ever-looming threat of no longer being welcome if you're not following the rules of dismissing any evidence going against the creed. Social and emotional pressures to keep the believers under control is a rule of thumb for any religion. I would say the resemblance between religion and the Flat Earth Fad is beyond obvious. In it? And just to piss them off, I'm going to leave it at 6 problems. Because 7 is according to them a holy number, while 6 is quite the opposite. 3 6s in a row would be a bloody bingo. Because somehow numbers are magic. I mean, this is basically the type of people we're dealing with. Well, anyway, I am so done here. Thanks for liking. Jeez, bloody hell. Thunderstorms are awesome, aren't they? So, also thanks for subscribing and ringing that bell. Is that a thing? I heard that's a thing. Excuse me while I have a word with the lads in the castle. Bye. Who's gonna clean up this bloody tablet here?